All right, good morning, YouTube. Okay, it's after morning. I got up late, been sleeping in. So let me turn you around here because, I'm master of the camera. Where'd it go? Anyway, today we're going to be working on trying to get some of my seed starts going. The governor in my state has chosen to shut down nurseries and landscaping companies for the better of society. So I'm going to try and get as many of my own plant starts going because I don't know for sure if I'll be able to buy my plant starts that I normally get through one of our local nurseries, which I've had awesome returns on that every year. So I went out and I bought some seeds. Well, here, let me show you. All right, here you can see I got a bunch of different seeds that I want to try this year. I bought a couple of these trays. They're, I'm pretty sure everybody knows where that's at. So, and then I'm trying something new. I'm turning this into a mini greenhouse as plant starts. Now these are just the pods. I just got them wet and I let them sit overnight so they could swell up like they're supposed to. And these are the pods I'm using here. I bought these at a hardware store. And so I've got a couple of these boxes like this, and I'm going to stick a bunch of seeds in here and see if I can't keep a little mini greenhouse and keep them warm. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet. I'm thinking I might go look for some large... Now this is where I'm planning on having everything sit for now. They get plenty of sunlight. It faces the south of the house. So, and it's a patio door, so just a big window. And then here you can see where we got a little tray of microgreens started. We're going to try some of those. But, let's get started and see how this goes. Okay, so here we're going to start with this little kit here. And having talked with the queen bean, she wants this one to be all lettuce, which is kind of fitting because it's a spring mix salad box, so we're going to make our salad in it. Now for salad stuff, I've got a few different varieties that I'm going to throw in here. Where are they at here? I've got this Royal Red. You see that? I got some Butter Crunch. I got some Bib. And then I've got some Slow Bolt. So we're just going to kind of mix it up a little bit and see what happens. Like I said, the queen bean's going to empty out another tray like this for me. And then later on, I'll be planting another one. This is one of probably the easiest ways to do seed starts. This is how I got started gardening. I found a tray, had 72 slots in it, and I took and put that in the window, and it came in a little box like this, but it had these little pods, and you let the pods swell up, and then you had a little greenhouse cover that went over top of it, real thin plastic like this tray. And you just set that in a windowsill and get your plant started, and then you go outside and you plant the whole thing in the ground and you're done. It was awesome. So we're going to try again this year. And like I said, I got a lot of different things I'm going to be planting. One of the big things I'm excited about are the purple beans. Those are supposed to be really cool and pretty. And my mother-in-law really gets a kick out of this kind of stuff because she's big into purple. So, all right, let's get started. We'll start with some of the Slow Bolt. Just tear open the package. Oh, these are teeny tiny seeds. Holy cow. Well, don't even know if I got any seeds in there. All right, there I got a few. So we'll put a few in there, a few in there. If I had more garden space, I'd do a great big tray of just each lettuce. But, you know, we do what we got to do with what we got. I think this next line, I'll do a bunch of the Royal Red. These are a little bit bigger seed, and they're white, so I can see them in the contrast. Now, I know I'm probably planting too many in a hole, but it is what it is, you know. And then after you get them in there, you know, just kind of move them all to the middle, tamp them down in there a little bit, down that center slot. It's nothing real complicated. And, you know, things like this are great for like people who have patio gardens and don't have a big greenhouse to get started. And it doesn't cost anything, because most of us that are trying to grow stuff like salads and the like anyway. So, you know, you buy your salad in one of these boxes like this, and there ain't no sense in letting it go to waste. These pods are $3 for a pack of 18, you know, so you can do plenty of planting. And then from here, you can go to, you know, one of the dollar stores that are out there. You know, there's bunches of them: Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Dollar General. Anything like that, you know, not to mention your little private dollar stores that pop up here and there where people, you know, are just doing a startup, you know, and you can get all kinds of little trays. You know, I mean, if you look around your place, I'm sure you'll find empty baskets and that you can line with plastic and fill with dirt. You can find laundry baskets, old buckets, hampers. You know, good Lord, you can go to Subways a lot of times in different restaurants and ask them for their empty pickle buckets, or, you know, do they have anything that comes in buckets that they throw the buckets away, and, you know, you can score buckets like that and do a patio garden in buckets. It's really an awesome and convenient way to go. I'm going to finish planting this, and I'm going to get these seeds ready to go, and then I'm going to set this off to the side, and then we'll grab one of these other trays, and we'll get started planting in that. Okay, so now I've got this full of seeds, and yes, some of you are going to be able to point out I've got seeds that are floating on top and whatnot, and I'm just a beginner. You know, I've been doing a garden for a few years, but it's not like I completely am self-sufficient in my garden. Not yet. It's on my to-do list. Sometime before I die, I want to live one entire year off my land. And it will be awesome when it happens. But for right now, I'm making do with what I got. And that's, you know, part of this whole thing with this YouTube channel is I'm trying to get people out there to understand, you know, having dreams and wanting to do something is awesome. But if you don't do anything, you're not doing anything. So you have to take steps to get ready when you can. And if you can do just little stuff like this on your patio, in a windowsill, it's a start. I don't care if all you get is one salad, you know, you get a head of lettuce and a radish. It's a start. You did something. You accomplished something. And that's what this is all about for me, is, you know, just doing little bits. I mean, every year we're able to can a little bit out of my garden. We can some salsa, and we can spaghetti sauce and tomato juice, because I usually go overboard on tomatoes. Last year I had 32 tomato plants. And I actually got some of them to get almost 6 foot tall. It was awesome. But it's been years getting there, trying this and trying that. And watching some of the people who have more established YouTube channels and have been doing this for years before I got started. And I'm just a punk city kid. I come from the heart of Grand Rapids, running in an economically challenged neighborhoods, raising hell and being an idiot. So, in the last 25 years since I met my wife, I've done a lot of growing up and I've done a lot of realizations. And there's been mistakes along the way because nobody's perfect. But every day I get up and I try. I have days where I don't want to, but you got to try. And unless you try, you don't get anything done. So, there's no way to say you can't do something unless you're constantly trying to get it done. So here I am. I'm trying. I'm getting started. Who knows what tomorrow holds, winning a lottery ticket, rich relative I don't know leaves me everything. You never know what's going to happen, I might just wake up and be bill free. Who knows? But the big thing is you just, to get to where you want to be, you got to try. And if you don't start doing something when whatever it is you dream of falls in your lap, you're not going to be ready because you're not ready. You haven't tried anything. You don't know what you're doing. I'm involved with a motorcycle church and we love the bikers and we love our bikes. But if nobody's ever ridden a motorcycle, you don't want to go out and buy a 2000cc motorcycle and then just hop on it and go because you're going to die. The thing is, you have to go out and start on a smaller bike and learn how to ride a bike, get comfortable with a bike, learn how to ride in traffic and deal with things, and people on the road so you don't die. Because like a friend of mine tells me, him and I used to do drywall together, and every day we'd get to a job site and first thing out of his mouth, what's the first rule of everything? Don't die. And that's something I carry through life. And it holds true. As long as you don't die, you can do anything. You just have to try. And you have to keep trying. All right, now I'm done with my rant. Let's get back to what I'm doing here. All right, I've got my seeds put into my pods. And these pods, when you get them, they come with a little dent in the middle. And this is what they look like when you buy them. They're dry and hard and, just a little puck. Well, after you soak them in some water, they swell up to about 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall. And then they still have that dimple in the center. And you put your seeds in there. And I've got some old stainless steel chopsticks that I use. But, just you pat them down a little bit in the middle. And then you bring some dirt in, from the sides just a little bit and cover them up, Because in these pods, it doesn't matter what the regulations are for planting them. These are just to get something started. This isn't a plant base to, hold your plants for forever and grow them. And, I guess as long as you keep them hydrated, you could do it, but I wouldn't. But once you've got them in here like this, and yes, I know I'm wasting seeds, but once you've got them in here like this, go back and I just dollar store water bottle, go back, kind of just spritz them down a little bit, keep the top of them moist, And I'm sure there's going to be people out there who have greenhouses or have been farming for years that are going to go, boy, what is wrong with your head? But this is what I do, and it works for me. I'm self-taught. Everything I've learned, I've either just done it and experimented with it and figured out how I want to do it, or I come here to YouTube and I find a video on what I want to do. So once you're done with that, close this up. There's enough air seal, you know what I mean? Or enough air that gets through the seal that you ain't got to worry about it. The bottom of the tray doesn't leak, but there you go. Now you have a mini greenhouse to start your plants. And I can't wait to see what comes up in this salad box, because this is full of salad stuff. I'll be back just a minute. Okay, as you can see, I got just a little bit of water in there. It's not a lot. It's like a 1/4 inch of water. I'm not trying to float the house away or the pods. So you just set this down in there. And, they sit down in that water just enough that they can start wicking some of that water up. Now, what I'm going to do, get a little bit of water, and then I'll just pour it over the top a little bit. Now, you're going to have some of the more dusty stuff kind of settle on top. Big thing is, you don't want to rush it, because you don't want...
All the kids are home from school, are they?
You don't want to get water everywhere, you know what I mean?
All the schools are closed.
So, what I'll do is fill this up.
Probably the beginning of March.
And it kind of looks like just a bubble sitting on top of it. But, like I said, they're dry.
All across the state, everybody's closed.
So, all right, we're going to leave this sit for a minute, and we'll be back after it soaks some of the water up. Okay, I'm getting a little impatient. This peat moss isn't sucking up the water as fast as I want. So I went and got an old wash tub, and I'm just going to dump everything in here and mix it up myself. Oh my, that's dusty. So, yep, I'm going to have some splaining to do. Wow. Okay. Wow, this is dustier than I thought it'd be. Oh, but it smells so good. Big thing is, just make sure everything gets wet, moist. You want it not to a muddy consistency, but, so it's firm. There we go. Now we've got something we can work with. And that was so much faster. Good deal. All right, so what we'll do from here is we'll take our little trays, you know, make sure they're all popped back out where they're supposed to be and shaped right and whatnot. And then, you know, just start pushing this back in there. There we go. That's one tray ready. Well, seems like there was some serious expansion with getting all this wet, which isn't bad, you know. But I did not expect to have this much left over. That's okay, though, because I can use it for something else. So I'm going to go ahead and get this other tray done, and then we'll come back and we'll start planting some of this stuff. And we'll see how our garden grows. Okay, we're back. So we got the trays all filled up. The second tray I got a little soupy on me, but that's fine because these trays are made so it'll drain through a little bit and it'll be fine. So what we're going to do now is plant some more stuff. What else do we want in here? We'll do some beans. I'm planting these Royal Burgundy bush beans, so we'll see how these turn out. There again, go into my surgical steel chopstick. Just poke a hole. And, you know, this is eventually, or pretty much just like them pods. Not a big deal. We'll put a couple beans in each one. Make sure we've got one for each one first. And this will be a needed experience. Like I said, we'll throw a couple in each one just to make sure something germinates in each pod. If we get doubles, we can either split them or just pluck one. Doesn't matter. Depends on the size of your garden and what you want to do. You know, even buying starts from the nursery, I used to get that bonus every once in a while, you know, where you go to open, you know, pull the plant out and there's two of them in there instead of just one. It doesn't hurt anything. You know, I mean, you don't want to plant them that close together, but if you take your time when you're pulling stuff apart, you can usually split a double and save one or two of them. I've done it with zucchini. I've done it with, you know, different types of squashes and whatnot. But just get everything covered up and that gives me a dozen. Probably call that good. Just like that. Oh, there's one I missed. We'll just poke him down on the side. If he comes up, cool. If he doesn't, oh well. You know, I think I'll do one more set. That'll give me 18 of them. Who knows? We may even have enough that we can do some canning with them this year. That's something I'm really wanting to show you guys, is how to do some canning. You know, I remember as a kid myself, even though I grew up in the city, you know, my grandparents did a little bit of canning. Mostly it was grandma canning mincemeat. My mom had no desire to do any of it. But, so I didn't actually grow up around it, but I just remember every year at the holidays, grandma being at grandma's, and she'd have one of us kids run downstairs and grab a jar of the mincemeat that she had canned up before, and she'd make her mincemeat pies, and it was good times. So I met my wife, and her mom grew up on a farm, so mom was always, you know, planting, and, you know, her and dad used to have a garden out here, and mom used to can all the time, you know, and that's kind of where I found an interest. We happened to come over one day, and I saw mom here in the kitchen. I believe she was canning up peaches at the time, but, you know, I was like, this is so cool. People can save their own food. And then, you know, in the course of talking to her and watching her do it, you know, I learned you can adjust your salt levels, and, you know, so you don't have all that extra salt that you don't want, like the stuff you buy from the stores. And then, yeah, it was actually really cool, because I never would have thought of that. But, all right, let's see what else we've got here to plant. The radishes I'm just going to plant in the ground. Basil. Should probably do some basil. My wife would get a kick out of some of that. Excuse me. Mustard spinach. We'll try some of that. Definitely going to do some cilantro. We use a lot of cilantro. You know, we can salsa, and we like to put it in guacamole and add it to salads for a little kick. And so we're definitely going to do some of that. What else have we got here? Mama's got peppers pulled out. Some cherry tomatoes. And some spinach. So we're going to do those. We'll probably do a few cherry tomatoes, try and get those to grow. And yeah, everything else I think I'm going to directly sow. Oh, and dill. We'll do a couple spots of dill. So, all right, we'll be back in a minute. Okay there, people. Here's the other tray. We've got it all loaded up with things and stuff. You can see what my unused seeds I put back in Ziplocs. And then I'm not done planting for the year, so I'm not going to put this stuff away yet. But when I am done and I'm putting things away for the year, what I do is I put everything in a Ziploc together and I close it up, get as much air out of it as I can, and then I put it in the freezer. Now, I don't know for sure, but I've been told that doing this will cause your seeds to stay dormant, and it will also give them that seasonal cycle that they're supposed to have, so that when you plant them in the ground and they start to warm up, then they're activated just like they are in nature. So that's what I plan on doing, and I'm hoping for a bountiful harvest later this year. I've got a couple of tubs that I grew some cherry tomatoes and chives in last year. I'm planning on bringing them up on the patio, and then I'll plant my radishes there, and I don't know, we'll see what happens.